Dinosaurs ruled the Earth for over 165 million years. However, there were many animals that lived before, during, and after that were just as formidable. We've picked 72 that dominate the others. In this show, we will talk about these dangerous animals, including when they lived, what they ate, their weaponry, and how humans would fare if these creatures were still alive. From the largest venomous animal of all time, to birds that could take out animals 30 times their weight, to a pterosaur that could kill a T-Rex, this is 72 Dangerous Animals, Prehistory. Smilodon grew up to 9 feet in length and weighed up to 900 pounds. It lived 500,000 to 9,400 years ago in North, Central, and South America.
First up on our list of 72 is the fiercest fela that the Western Hemisphere has ever produced. As infamous as its canines were long, Smilodon populator was arguably one of the biggest terrestrial predators, and certainly so concerning the cats. Now, these animals were part of a larger group called the Macariodonts, which are closely related to modern cats, even though they lack the gigantic canines that previous feliforms had, including nimravids and barbrophelids. Feared as an opportunist, these animals weren't afraid to take down prey thrice their size like Macrauchenia, or fight for a carcass against the remnants of the dinosaurs, like the forest rockids. Like modern cats, the fear of humans is learned. In the twilight years of the Pleistocene, mankind was still traversing the New World. The dozens of unknown pre-Clovis man that crossed the Isthmus of Panama may have had an inkling of what was to come, based on North American Macariodonts, but nothing could prepare them for an animal twice the height, clocking in around 500 to 900 pounds of pure muscle. With canines to match the intensity of these animals, there are few threats to Smilodon populator it would have to worry about. At most, terror birds, ground sloths, and other cats. Recent studies have declared that the canines were probably used to pierce the prey of the animal, but extra nerve endings in the gum line made it so these creatures were aware when a bite may have seemed fatal to the tooth's health. There is additional circumstantial evidence that these creatures use social hierarchy behavior, giving them another edge in the world of South America megafauna. Regardless of the evidence for or against teeth and sociality, no one can rebuke the Smilodon's placement on this list.
Smilodon takes first place for now, but can a giant fish with an 8-foot blade protruding from its head beat it for top spot? Onchopristis grew up to 26 feet in length and weighed up to 5,000 pounds. It lived in Africa, Europe, and North America in the late Cretaceous period, 100 to 66 million years ago. Onchopristis had a massive rostrum covered in many large denticles. It was not actually a sawfish or saw shark and developed its similarities to them through convergent evolution. It was instead closely related to skates. Onchopristis used its rostrum to detect prey and then slash at it to kill it. While it fed on fish, it could do some potentially lethal damage to humans that got in its path and spooked them. Unlike modern sawfish, Onchopristis had barbs on its rostrum denticles. As Onchopristis slashed at its victim, its denticles would have ripped flesh apart. Its barbed denticles would have caused massive damage to an attacker and left a huge, messy, gaping wound. Onchopristis' size is heavily argued upon. The lowest estimate based on a complete rostrum is 12 feet long. The highest presumably correct estimate is 26 feet long based on a rostrum length of 8 feet. It is assumed that Onchopristis could travel between fresh and salt water. Onchopristis may be powerful, and you certainly wouldn't want to make it mad, but it's no match for Smilodon in the fight against humans. It slides in a second place. But how does this prehistoric predator compare to the world's largest eagle? Haast's eagle had a wingspan of up to 10 feet and it weighed up to 33 pounds. It lived 1.8 million years ago to 1400 AD in New Zealand.
The largest eagle of all time is estimated to have been 4.5 feet long, 3 feet tall, and have a 10-foot wingspan. While it had broad, shortened wings, its long tail helped it to take flight, even from the ground, despite its heavy weight. Its only prey was the moa, a giant flightless bird. Haast's eagle had no competition from other large predators or other eagles, so it was able to feed from a carcass for days without worrying about it being stolen. It used its beak and 4.5-inch talons to tear at its prey's insides, causing it to bleed to death. Haast's eagles lived in New Zealand. The ancestors of the Maori arrived in New Zealand in the year 1280. This would spell doom for the Haast's eagle. The Maori hunted the moa to extinction by 1400, and the Haast's eagle lost its food source. Haast's eagles were top predators, and like most apex predators dominating the food chain, there weren't that many of them, and they were confined just to New Zealand. It had been estimated that there were less than 9,000 adult Haast's eagles alive at any one time. This was another contributing factor to their decline. It has been proven through fossil remains that this megaraptor preyed on humans. It was strong enough to snatch a person off the ground and carry them away, or drop them from a height to kill them. Throughout Maori legend, this bird was the one thing they feared the most. They were likely hunted to extinction to prevent these child snatchers from killing again. With the Maori hunting the moa and killing off the remaining Haast's eagles, their already low numbers decreased until they hit 0.
Haast's eagle had the potential to be a very successful human killer. Its talons and beak made for a killer combo, and its size would have made it very dangerous to be around. It takes the top spot, pushing Smilodon down to number 2 and Onchopristis to number 3. Up next, a lethal lobe-finned fish. Rhizodus grew up to 23 feet long and weighed up to 8,000 pounds. Rhizodus lived in England in the Carboniferous period, 330 to 300 million years ago. Rhizodus was truly a monster. It was the largest and most dangerous freshwater fish of all time. Reaching lengths greater than that of the saltwater crocodile, it was also much more strongly built and much heavier. Rhizodus regularly ambushed human-sized prey for food. It preyed on medium-sized fish and tetrapods. Instead of swallowing prey whole, Rhizodus ripped it into smaller pieces with its large teeth before swallowing. It had fangs in the front of its mouth that were nearly 9 inches long. The teeth on Rhizodus's bottom jaw rotated inwards when it bit down, which gave it a better grip on struggling prey. Some paleontologists believe that Rhizodus may have lunged from the water like a crocodile to catch animals drinking from the shore. It was a lobe-finned fish from the Carboniferous period. Its scales resembled those of an arapaima. Its pectoral fins were much larger than the rest of its fins and were covered in scales, resulting in a paddle-like shape. If a human had come into contact with a Rhizodus, it would spell almost certain doom. Rhizodus, just like the river monsters of today, would have made short work of a human. Rhizodus was the ultimate killer fish. Its huge teeth and thick armor made it a formidable foe that nothing would want to mess with. Rhizodus goes straight to number 1, pushing Haast's eagle, Smilodon, and Onchopristis down to 2, 3, and 4, respectively. Up next, a relative of the hippo with an equal amount of anger issues. The largest of the entelodonts, Daeodon, grew up to 12 feet in length and weighed up to 2,000 pounds. It lived 23 to 20 million years ago in North America.
The entelodonts of the late Paleogene and early Neogene were fierce competitors that would have made even a Smilodon consider the offense. The entelodont family are often called hell pigs due to their fierce appearance and reputation as apex predators. Closely related to modern hippos and whales, these beasts were also only one genetic lineage away from the most fearsome terrestrial mammalian carnivore in the 4 billion years of our planet, Andrewsarchus. The largest of these unique creatures was the Daeodon. The skull alone was over 3 feet long, with unusual phalanges on the zygomatic arch, undoubtedly to increase muscle mass for the jaws. Daeodon had large, sharp teeth and powerful jaws, adapted for crushing bones. It likely fed on a variety of foods, including small animals, carrion, and possibly even plant material. Modern art is slowly pushing away from the shrink wrapping around the jaws that was so common in the past, resulting in an almost pudgy facade. If humans encountered this creature, they knew damn well to avoid it at all costs.
Like almost all ungulates, these hippo pig whales were most likely social, finding strength among their allies. Any carnivore would have had a tough time getting through this animal's defense and aggression. Because of the size, fear, and social power the hell pigs had, they have successfully made it into R72.
You wouldn't want to stumble upon a pack of Daedon, let alone a single one, that's for sure. Their size and aggression is a deadly combo that humans wouldn't want to have anything to do with. It isn't enough to overpower the Rhizodus, but it does overtake Haast's eagle for second spot, pushing it to number 3, and Smilodon and Onchopristis to number 4 and 5, respectively. But what about the largest shark of all time? Where does it fit in? Megalodon grew up to 60 feet long. However, the average size of Megalodon was only around 45 feet. Megalodon weighed anywhere from 100,000 to 200,000 pounds at the absolute maximum. It lived 20 to 2.6 million years ago in the warm oceans around the world. Megalodon was the largest shark to ever live. However, there's lots of controversy regarding its true size. It has been hypothesized over the years to resemble multiple different modern species of shark, such as the great white shark, basking shark, and sand tiger shark. We estimate Megalodon's length from its tooth size. The typical upper length estimate of 60 feet is based on a great white's body plan. The great white shark has very large teeth compared with jaw size, whereas other shark species, such as spinner sharks, have really small teeth compared to their jaw size. Megalodon and great white shark tooth similarity were results of convergent evolution. If Megalodon had a similar body plan to the spinner shark, then it could be well over 100 feet long. It all depends on the shark that they are modeling Megalodon's jaw after. Male Megalodons were smaller than females, with males averaging between 34 to 47 feet long when fully grown, and females averaging between 44 to 56 feet long when fully grown. Megalodon's diet consisted of large fish, seals, turtles, and whales. Megalodon competed for food with prehistoric killer whales and macroraptorial sperm whales such as Leviathan. It is estimated that Megalodon swam around 11 miles per hour at its top cruising speed. It is estimated that a newborn Megalodon would have been over 6 feet long and that they would grow 6.3 inches per year and live to be over 100 years old. Megalodon's mouth was 12 feet wide and had 276 teeth. Its bite force was over 182,000 newtons. For comparison, humans only have a bite force of 1,317 newtons. If a Megalodon chose to eat a human, it would likely be a slow death. An adult Megalodon would likely swallow you whole rather than biting you in half. You would slowly be digested in the shark's stomach. There's a chance to escape death, however. Small fish are able to swim through a shark's gill slits if they are fast enough. A human could potentially do the same with Megalodon. Like all the greats, this powerful predator couldn't last forever and eventually died out. There were many factors that led to Megalodon's extinction. When the earth cooled and the sea levels lowered, there is less suitable habitat for Megalodon nurseries. There is also a decrease in baleen whale diversity, and the baleen whale populations began to shift towards polar regions where Megalodon couldn't follow as it preferred warmer waters. Lastly, Megalodon's extinction coincides with gigantism in baleen whales. Megalodon is the ultimate killing machine. With a greater bite force than all other animals that have ever lived, this shark destroys the competition and lands in first place. This massive fish wins the episode and goes to our finalists.
The mysterious noise from 1997 known as the bloop was not caused by an enormous animal. In 2005, the mystery was solved. The bloop turned out to be the sound of an ice shelf breaking off Antarctica. There are numerous reports of non-avian dinosaur fossils occurring after the KPG boundary, among them carnivorous theropods and large hadrosaurs. Though it is unconfirmed, perhaps even a few T-Rex still roamed in the early Paleocene, hunting the first megafauna.
In each episode, we will rank the creatures from 1 to 6 on a scale of how potentially dangerous these creatures would be to humans, and the winner of each episode will showdown with the other 11 finalists in the season finale to decide on which prehistoric creature was the ultimate human killing machine.